Alright, Chris, what can we get started fresh for you?
May I please just have a small cheese curd and a water? I've got flaming tires. I can only use it once per race though, and I've wasted it. Hey everyone, welcome back to Topher Drives, where this week I've been daily driving this 2025 Audi SQ5, the brand new third generation spicy version of Audi's best-selling vehicle in the US. The formula here stays pretty much the same, and it's a good one. Up front, a 3-liter turbocharged V6 making 362 horsepower and 406 pound-feet of torque. In the middle, a 7-speed DCT sending power to all four wheels with quattro all-wheel drive. And well, this one was a little bit weird for me for a couple of reasons. For one, I've never driven an Audi SQ5, so this was kind of my entry into this world. But also, I feel like for the third generation, they made this look very electric. It's very rounded in the front, consistent with some of Audi's e-tron models. So when I saw this for the first time, I thought maybe they had diluted it, or maybe they had just made it electric. But as I said, the turbocharged V6 is still here, so that is a good thing, and they have certainly not diluted this. It's been a lot of fun to live with this week, and I'm excited to take you guys all out on the road today and show you what it's like to drive. I have a couple of errands to run. I'm going to take you guys with me, and that's kind of what this car is all about. You know, it's an SUV, it's got air suspension, it's comfortable, but it's also quick, it's fun to drive, and it should be quite the ideal daily driver, and I suppose today we will find out. This is the Prestige model, so as spec today, we're coming in just under $75,000. The SQ5 on a base level starts just under 65 grand. So not the most expensive choice in the segment, and this is the hottest version of the Q5 that you can get. The base model does still have a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, so pretty consistent with what we've seen since, what was it, 2009? When the first Audi Q5 came out, and we're still going strong, being the best-selling Audi for the 2025 model year. Now, I know the year is 2026, but I don't know that 26s have actually hit dealerships yet, and this is the brand new generation of this, so it'll be the same regardless. 26 should carry 99% of what this car is. This one in front of us is Daytona Gray Pearl with an Arras Red interior. I think it's a gorgeous spec. I don't want to give you too much of a look into the interior yet because we have other things to discuss before we do that. Today we are on a set of snow tires. The German manufacturers are always really good about putting their press cars on snow tires. We've got a pretty aggressive Continental here, and surprisingly actually a squared setup with a 255 section tire all around, 255 40. Everything's just covered in salt. 40R21, there you go. Oh, big snow drift. Big snow drift. I don't know if you guys can see that on camera. It is a bit miserable today. It's 22 degrees, feels like 6, and we have 35-mile-an-hour gusts. So we're making this walk around as quick as we can today. This also has the black optic package, so we've got dark chrome things throughout, black mirror caps, these special wheels, dark chrome exhaust tips. Show you in the back of this thing. Something different that Audi's done for this generation is they have put the taillights actually on the car as opposed to on the hatch, so they didn't have to put the dummy lights in for if you're stopped with the boot open, if you're like have a flat tire or something. Got a snow scraper back here for obvious reasons. Cargo net, love to see that. Under the trunk floor, no spare, but quite a bit of extra storage where we have, what is that? It's a goop kit, tire mobility system. Check that out. And always love to see multiple tiers of storage. I'm gonna put this snow brush back beneath the cargo net, which is very easy actually to do and undo. Very, very easy and convenient hooks as I struggle with it. Obviously, regular 5-seat configuration, pretty good load height, and enough room for things in the back of this. This hasn't gotten unreasonably big for its third generation, which I appreciate as well, but Audi says that they've designed it in such a way that it appears longer from its side profile. So I'll let you all decide if that's true or not. I think it just looks a little bit more similar now to the Q7. Let's jump into the back and see what room is like back here. Inside, it's very quiet because with the Prestige package, we get acoustic glass. We'll have all of that down in the description for you, what all comes in that. But anyway, in the back seat, sat behind myself at 5'11", it's a bit snug. Now, most of the SUVs in this class, they are kind of like this. They don't really prioritize back seat room. This is in its comfort access position, so it would be a little bit further forward if we were driving. So bearing that in mind, I would have a couple more inches of legroom. Headroom back here is fantastic, actually. I've got a lot of room even with this big pano roof. Got a fold down armrest with cup holders like we do. Massive drivetrain hump. This middle seat is not super usable. I don't know who would be able to go here. Not me. Definitely not me. So you're really only taking 4 adults here, including the driver, in comfort, maybe one child or someone without legs, I suppose. Heated seats for the outboard rears. That is nice. 2 USB-C ports, some vents, though no climate control panel and no vents on the pillars either. We do have sunshades back here, which are probably the most intelligent design I've ever seen for a sunshade because they're very easy to do up. It's just these couple little hooks here that go into there. You don't have to simultaneously aim 2 different mounting points, so that's quite nice. We have a Bang & Olufsen sound system in here, which you know we will be testing at some point along the journey today, and just really nice materials all around. I mentioned Arras Red, which is leather on the seats, but then the door panels and the dashboard and the console all have this really nice Alcantara on them, which is also finished in Arras Red. Now, these door handles are actually fake. You can see you pull on it halfway and it pops the door, or you pull it all the way for a manual release if you, for some reason, get stuck in the car, if the battery's dead or something. And it's the same way on the exterior. Those are fake as well, but also functional. Why did it just lock itself? Don't know. Only weird thing I've had this week is I took this out the other night to shoot the winding road drive, and it was absolutely freezing. I think it was below 0 out. And the driver's door couldn't recognize that it was closed because the electronic mechanism was stuck open, even though the door was shut. So that was a little bit weird. I eventually locked it, unlocked it, and it seemed to like reset the module or whatever. But just things we always ask ourselves, is it better? Don't really know. Under the hood, which is assisted by struts, love to see that for 75 grand, there is the 3-liter single turbo V6. Again, 362 horsepower and 406 pound-feet of torque. This SUV weighs in at about 4,200 pounds, so just a bit over that. So just over 2 tons of Audi. All sorts of ice shattering on the ground there. I don't know about you guys. I always love to get in the wheel arches and see how much I can clear out. Oh, that is just the most satisfying thing in the world. And we will run that over as we leave. Let's jump in because it's way too cold. Where we find actually the next thing I don't like, which is also related to the door. This is very funny. So in most cars, you know, you get in and then you're able to grab the door and close it. However, there's a different technique you have to do with the 3rd gen Audi Q5, and that's you have to take the door with you like so. Because if you don't, you won't be able to close it like you could with that door or the other 2 doors in the back, because for some reason Audi's put this entire control panel right where you'd grab to close the door. And this looks like a total afterthought because you can see the blank switch here where you have the lock and unlock switch on the other door. So they've put the memory seat settings, the child locks, all of the mirror controls, the headlight controls, all of that is on the door. And there's all this blank space here, there's blank space here, there's blank space here. I don't super understand the logic behind this, but just make sure you get used to that technique if you have one of these. Luckily though, once the door is shut and you are once again in complete serenity, you can start this with the red outlined start-stop button and hear this V6 come to life. I think that's a new chime. I don't really recognize that. We don't drive a ton of Audis. Make sure my Phil Collins doesn't start playing and get a copyright strike. But the chime is really the smallest of the changes in here because this is just massively different up front. The entire dashboard, this huge display here, the steering wheel, which is no longer circular. It's more of a square like a C8 Corvette. I don't think it looks too bad. I think it's all right. I got used to this when we drove the latest Audi RS3. And we even have a passenger screen over there, which we won't really mess with too much, but you can see there. I don't know if you guys can see that on camera or not, but You've got just sort of all the same things that you have over here, but you know, you want to pull up a navigation screen or something, you can have that going over there. And then down here in the middle, we've got a volume knob. We have our drive mode selector, which is quite nice. We can adjust our air suspension, go into dynamic mode. You can see that will lower us down. We've got a little progress meter over here. You can see it is lowering down. Let's see what that looks like on the outside, actually. Oh yeah. Slammed. And then we also have off-road mode and off-road plus, so we can do this. Click. Vehicle key is still in here, don't worry. So you've got off-road, and then you can go into what's called off-road plus, and this will lift it up, I think it's an additional 2 inches. Oh yeah! Now it looks startled. Holy crap, that's actually pretty impressive. Nice. Okay, so now you could have a Stance Nation Audi H2OI car, or you can have something for the Dakar Rally. That's pretty sweet. We're going to put this back into balanced mode, and while we don't have a standalone custom drive mode, you are able to customize your mode here in balanced, and you can go into your steering, your air suspension, your driver assist, and your Audi virtual cockpit layout. Everywhere I touch, I get Phil Collins' face again. Larger always, it seems. Otherwise, the infotainment is pretty nice. We have this built-in navigation, which looks quite good. Otherwise, you have all of your different apps, wireless CarPlay, Android Auto. Everything seems to work fine. The only thing I don't like is how much of the climate lives in the infotainment, which is all of it. If you want to adjust things like where the vent is blowing, you have to go into a sub-screen. If you're somebody that likes to live in auto climate control, though, you'll be just fine here. But I'm not somebody that likes to use auto climate control. What is this? Beach Buggy Racing 2. Wow! You can race beach buggies. This is the thing. I think a lot of companies are just, they're on this whole like school pickup line thing. And they think that this is what parents want to do while they're waiting to pick their child up. Continue. Okay. Continue. Use your driver's special ability once per race. Okay, got it. 3, 2, 1. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this is like a 2-hands ordeal here. Also, it's flat out constantly, and you only have a brake pedal. What's the driver's special ability? Hasn't charged up yet. There we go. Oh, I've got flaming tires. I can only use it once per race, though, and I've wasted it. It's 2 laps? What is the rainbow thing? All right. I'm not boring you guys with this, but there you go. Beach Buggy Racing 2. How do I get out of this now? Genuinely have no idea how to get this off the screen.
I'm listening.
Quit Beach Buggy Racing.
Sorry, I did not understand that.
Can
you repeat it, please?
Yes, I want the game off my screen, and I don't know how to do it.
I could not find any results right now. Please try again later.
Why would you do this? Why would they do this? And then so you swipe down, and then it okay. I don't know how I did that, but I'm never touching that again. Now let's leave the parking lot and go for a drive. What do you guys say about that? We'll just put Waze here on our screen. Into reverse, you can see reversing camera and 360 camera, both pretty decent quality. You've got leading lines there, and steering is ultra quick. I think this is kind of like the poster child for what steering should be like in a compact luxury SUV. It's very quick, it's moderately light, but still has a decent amount of weight to it. I think precision and high quality feeling is really what you need, and this is very good. Now, keen-eyed viewers will have just noticed little lights on the edge of the dashboard. This is what Audi calls the dynamic interaction light, which if you put your turn signal on, you can see goes for both sides. Little flashes of light. Now at night, this is all ambient lighting. It's a strip that goes all the way across the dashboard. But I kind of like this. I think it's kind of neat to have, a little bit of an extra reminder that your turn signal's on. The only downside is it does reflect quite badly off of the head-up display at night, to the point where if you have the ambient lighting on, you can't really see what's going on in front of you. But during the day, quite lovely. Really nice even throttle input, smooth power and torque from the 3-liter single turbo V6. Didn't talk about what we're doing today. Now, I don't always love the sound of a V6. I think they all kind of sound the same. But Audi does something with these. They sprinkle something on them that make them sound a little bit more sophisticated than other V6s. I'm not really hearing a 350Z, which is good. Anyway, today, as we kind of creep behind this traffic that I know is going to be slow, we're going to run into town and go to a brand new Culver's in Ann Arbor. So that'll be fun. We'll go through the drive-thru there and see what maneuverability is like. And then Emily ordered some pastries from a shop downtown. So we're going to go pick those up, and that's ultimately where we will wrap the video. But I want to go do a little bit of performance driving. We'll get on the highway. We'll get into town. We'll run a couple errands, and we'll fully evaluate the daily drivability of this new 3rd-gen Audi Q5. But first, I do want to stick this into dynamic mode. That will default our 7-speed gearbox into S and sharpen it up. Shifts happen quite quickly. You can take manual control by grabbing one of the paddles, and it absolutely fires off gear changes. The air suspension stiffens up a lot when you're in dynamic mode as well. Got little bits of wind buffeting happening. Now remember, we're on a snow tire in a 2-ton SUV, and it's freezing cold, so bear with me here. All of the ice. This car's pretty quick. Now, the Grand Caravan going the same speed as us definitely didn't help my case there, but it's quick enough for what you need, I feel like. This seems like just about the perfect power level for something in this class, and it feels spicy enough. It's fun. And you get the odd pop and burble on the over rev. Let's go this way. Ooh, that shifts really hard. Now we do also have launch control, which I hope I'm going to be able to use up here if the road isn't completely covered in snow. Now the way you do this is you hold the ESC off button for a while until the car gets angry and it starts binging and bonging at you multiple times in a row. You can see there. Limited stability. Okay, we've got a pretty clear section of road here. We'll be able to do our launch control, which is supposedly good for 0 to 60 in about 4.5 seconds, so let's find out. And as you can see there, even if you're in manual, it will take care of the gear changes for you after a launch control. What a machine, my goodness. And it spun a little bit on these snow tires in these cold temperatures, but it gets down to business. even though this ride gets pretty stiff here in dynamic mode, it's not crashy stiff. Unlike some other hot Audis, this actually won't hold gears, which is a little bit disappointing. Even when you're in dynamic mode, everything turned off, you're not able to bounce off the rev limiter. But that's all right. All right, let's turn stuff back on here. We're going to go back into, individual mode, this is now called, because I've tweaked something. Oh, that's cool. Why don't we go comfort mode, actually? We'll just soften everything out. And we'll put this back into CarPlay, bring our map back up. Sometimes you have to hit CarPlay twice for some reason. Anyway, though, all right, well, we've seen that it's quite quick. It's quite fun to drive. The chassis is balanced. Steering is good. Steering stays, obviously, very quick and precise. You think this guy likes Yamaha? Somebody's wired their tailgate light incorrectly. Let's get this SQ5 merged onto the highway in much traffic and see what it's like to actually live with. Now, obviously, you can have a ton of fun in this car, going around corners, doing launch controls, shifting your own gears with the paddle shifters, but what really matters with something like this is once you actually settle it down, get it out on a regular road and see what it's like to live with. I'm going to turn my heated seat down a bit because that is cooking me. Kick down here is pretty good, and a little bit of squat from the air suspension when you're in comfort mode, obviously with things being nice and soft. But impressions stay positive here once we have moved onto the highway. Obviously, this is one of those cars that feels like it would just go 170 up the left lane and you would be just fine to do so. The Autobahn burner, as the Germans like to say. But the thing I'm the happiest with is this air suspension, the way it's kind of able to be so many different things. It can be sporty in dynamic mode, it can be regular, it can be nice here in comfort mode, and then it can stand up and it can go over things and have extra ground clearance when you're in off-road mode. So nice sophisticated suspension. Don't know how that'll be in the long term, but if you're buying one of these new, you probably don't really care. Other highway manners, I just like the cockpit of this car. I think the driving position, the size of the steering wheel, all of it is pretty much exactly what I want in a car like this. I think the seat is comfortable. It's pretty easy to see out of this. Visibility is nice. We don't have a camera mirror or anything too fancy in this, but you don't need a camera mirror if you can just see out the back, which you can in this. The headrest only take up, I don't know, maybe 5% of that view. So you are completely fine in that sense. This does have massaging seats, which I actually haven't tried yet because I wanted to leave my first impressions here for the video. Okay, this has just started itself. In stretch mode, I did a hard workout last week and I have been feeling dreadful actually for the past few days, so maybe this will help me feel a bit better. We shall see. So, okay, this is not the sort of massage that has like the little balls like a Brookstone massage chair. This is more so like a dynamic stretch to kind of stretch you out if you're on a road trip or something, to loosen you up. It does okay. I mean, it's really just kind of working the lumbar on my back right now, which, you know, whatever. I don't think that it's a pointless option, but it would be nice to have maybe something a little bit more sophisticated here. Overall seat comfort, though, apart from the massage, seems to be pretty nice, and we have this really nice quilted design on these Arras Red seats that I think just looks fantastic. Audi, while I think the exterior of this, it's a little bit weird from what they've come from, like kind of the, I don't want to say boxy, but kind of harder body lines, sharper body lines that they've had on these. It does look a little bit different. It's a little foreign to older Audi products. But I think that's okay because the quality does certainly still feel like it's here. And we're going to test kickdown here to pass this van. Taking a different exit today, going a little further on the highway. Kickdown is fantastic. This 7-speed DCT does a really good job of the whole Jekyll and Hyde thing as well. It gives you brutal gear changes when you're in dynamic shifting manually. I mean, your body moves in the seat with how hard these gear changes are, but then in any other mode, they're smooth and reserved, and you don't feel them at all. That's what's cool about a DCT is, especially a company that's been doing these S-tronic gearboxes forever. They know at this point exactly how to tune it, and it's turned out lovely. Elbow comfiness in here is lovely. I've got a very soft armrest that is a little bit irritating to operate most of the time because you have to hold the release latch to close it all the way. But it is at least soft, so I can't complain too much. And even though it does still have limited room, it's bigger than some of the other Audis that are in the class, like the Q7 and the Q8, which just have like literally an inch deep console. This one fits like a hat, my phone, and other stuff. So it's a bit more usable. We'll give them that. And materials are nice here too. I mean, you've got Alcantara to rest your elbow on, and it's quite soft. So, I mean, everything you touch in here does still feel pretty nice. You've got carbon fiber on the dash. I mean, you're not really touching that, but it's pretty decent to look at. Audis lately, they've been a little bit concerning for me because with this new design language and all of these new screens and things, you never really know if the quality in the interior is still going to feel the same. And I think Audi has realized this because they really have gone above and beyond with these materials. I mean, even the spot where you'd rest your knee on a long trip is covered in Alcantara. My steering wheel is heated all the way around. I would maybe like to see a leather stitched airbag cover. But other than that, I mean, the dashboard is stitched leather, even though you can't really see it because this massive curved screen does cover a lot of it. It's quite good. But I think the best part of this SQ5 is the way it is dynamically. The accelerator pedal, the brakes, the steering, the way this car carries itself, it feels just right. And the Germans have like a special way of doing this that other manufacturers just seem to not quite be able to replicate. And this is not exclusive to like Volkswagen Auto Group. You feel this in BMW, you feel this in Mercedes and Porsche. And it's just this luxurious, confidence-inspiring, sort of like taut driving experience. And we absolutely have that here in the SQ5. I haven't showed you guys this Culver's yet. I'm very excited to. This has the light prediction thing, which says that this light is going to be red for the next 72 seconds. I don't believe it, but we shall see. This might actually be correct, and I'm going to issue Audi a formal apology if this light turns green in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wow. Okay. Audi, I'm sorry that I doubted you, but I've had so many of these cars that the little light predictor thing, it's always wrong. But hey, newest generation of car, I guess it makes sense that they've gotten it dialed in. Let's pull into this brand new Culver's that used to be a TJI Fridays, and you can tell that by how massive the building is. But I haven't done the drive-thru yet at this. Emily and I came here once. I noted that they have EV chargers out front, which obviously, there you go, future. But check this out.
Hello, welcome to Culver's. What's a good name for the order?
Hello, Chris.
Alright, Chris, what can we get started fresh for you?
May I please just have a small cheese curd and a water?
Alright, it's gonna be $5.50 at the window.
Great, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
As far as maneuverability goes here, obviously we're very good. I mean, you could convince me that this has rear wheel steering. It is that nice. I don't see a button for my cameras, and I don't want to be crashing during this, but you really don't need them, and this is such a big drive-through anyway that it would be pretty pointless. I did remember cash today though, so I don't have to blur my credit card. Hello.
Chris?
Yes.
Alright, it's gonna be $5.50.
Thank you.
There's 14.
Thank you so much.
50.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I'll have you just pull around and we'll bring that right up front.
Got it.
Thank you.
All right. Improving my diet. We're skipping the sweet tea today. Nice turning circle. Oh, there you go. Look at that. Cameras have come up automatically. Get myself here in this spot. Jeez. Right up to him. Window motors are a little bit loud. Actually, while we're waiting here, I want to test this in-house navigation and see if it can get me to where I want to go downtown. We're going to use the voice command.
Yes, how can I help you?
Navigate to Canal Bakery.
Canal Ann Arbor LL in Ann Arbor. Would you like to start route guidance?
Yes.
Okay, I am starting route guidance.
There it is. Check it out. Okay, we're 11 minutes. Perfect to finish out our trip. I think this is our curds.
Chris?
Yes.
Who's your curd?
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Have a good one.
You too. Should we try these out real quick? Oh, all right. Ooh, hot curds. Very hot curds. I'm able to easily drive away now that this person has left. I'm eating these right now because if Tedward's watching, he'll be very angry with me for letting those get cold. Also, I want to mention that I think steering wheels that aren't perfectly round are a bit awkward because if you have to do hand-over-hand movements, it's not completely even, but I think the steering ratio in this is quick enough to where it doesn't bother me at all. I mean, you like really don't even notice because you so rarely have to do hand-over-hand movements. For some reason was still expecting a sweet tea. Also, this is most certainly not going to pass the curd test because there's nowhere to put them. Getting into a bit more of a city setting here. Obviously this car doesn't feel big because it isn't. But not only is sizing nice, all of these nice inputs obviously work into this as well. Having more torque than horsepower is nice for just being able to kind of putz this around at like, I don't know, under 3,000 RPM at all times is nice. You don't really hear this V6 too much. It's quiet, it's reserved when you're just driving normally. As we have just about 7 minutes left of our journey here, why don't we go ahead and wrap this one up for you guys. So, this is a car that I was very excited to drive because somehow in the last 4 or 5 years that I've been doing this, I've never driven an Audi SQ5. So this is one that we've been asking for a while and very happy to finally be driving it. And I'm pleasantly, I don't know that pleasantly surprised is the right word, but I'm pleasantly relieved, I suppose I should say, because even though this car does look a little bit uncharacteristic of a sporty Audi on the outside, in my opinion, it kind of just looks like whatever the latest e-tron thing is, which, whatever, this is Audi's latest design language, this is their corporate setup, so be it. But I like that even though they've made it look like this, it still drives like a sporty Audi should. And we've had a lot of these sport Audis over the last couple of years. We had the RS5, we've had the SQ7, we had the SQ8, we've had the RS3, the S3, and I've emerged loving all of them. I mean, there hasn't been a single one that I haven't liked, and this is consistent with that. I've had a great few days driving this, and even though it is idling quite rough right now, Okay, it's figured itself out. It just idled down. Now it's smooth again. This has been a really nice experience, and give this car a chance if you're a little bit worried. In fact, I sent a picture of this in my group chat, and everybody thought it was an EV, so I know that I'm not crazy. When I told them it was an SQ5, they couldn't believe it. But give this car a chance. I think everything they've done in here is fine. It all works okay. And actually, that reminds me, we need to do a sound system test as we get into town, but that'll be the last thing that we do. Not a whole lot of notes with this car. The only things I don't like are the setup here for closing the driver door and this panel that seems a bit like an afterthought. And then, I don't know, maybe give me some sharp edges back on the outside. Maybe put a different hood on the car or something to let me know that it's an S model. But otherwise, I mean, I really can't complain too much. It's been good to live with. It's not very efficient. It's been getting 15.8 mpg this week, so that's not the best. It's rated, I think, at like 19 combined or something. So, I mean, it is still a turbo V6 all-wheel drive thing that weighs 2 tons at the end of the day. So you're not going to be driving around getting crazy MPG. Obviously, this takes premium fuel, so it's going to be on the more expensive side to run. And this is skewed a little bit because it's 22 degrees out right now in Michigan, so it's not going to be as efficient as it could be. I'm actually going to kill the navigation and park in this parking structure that's up here on the right. Actually, I don't need to kill the navigation, but I do want to play you guys out here and give you a test of this Bang & Olufsen before we wrap the video. Love that we have a volume knob, and then we also have volume controls here on the steering wheel. These buttons are just big panels that I'm not the biggest fan of, but they've been fine this week. Everything's zeroed out, and I've got the 3D effect off because I didn't like the way that sounded, and surround I've got off too. Sounded way too simulated. You guys can see this ambient lighting now. I think we'll stick this next to this other very enthusiast-oriented Audi. Why not? We'll play along. That's it. Alrighty, guys. Well, that is going to do it for our living with the 2025 brand new third generation Audi SQ5. This has been a very nice one to live with this week. As I said, I think probably 20 times in this video, but let's shut it off. We'll give you one last look. Okay. Alrighty, guys. Well, that's going to do it for us. For the new SQ5. Thank you all again so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.